Hey guys, welcome to the Gods Unchained beta with the Professor. Alright, it's time for our Monday Mythic meta for the ranked weekend event that ran on January 21, 22, and 23. Let's take a look at our results. Here's a list of our top players. Congratulations on first place, managing 25 wins. This is the third week in a row that we've seen a perfect run for the weekend ranked. Similar to last week, we can see that the rest of the top 10 is populated with 24 wins, so very competitive to get into the top 10 now. We do see the rest of the 24 wins extending past the top 10, so we'll have to wait for the official results to see who gets the 10th spot. Breaking down our top 10, War took 1st, 4th, 6th, 7th, and 10th. Nature captured 2nd, 8th, and 9th. Death took 2 spots, 3rd and 5th. We can see it's mostly Control in the top 10. One thing to point out though here is we do have a War aggro deck in the top 10, breaking the trend of Control War decks. And we have a Control Nature deck. Typically, we see aggro nature in the top 10, but this week we have a Control Nature deck in the top 10. Let's go into more details. In our top 20, we see more players playing War, with 12 players in the top 20 playing a War deck. 5 players played Nature in the top 20. 3 players played Death, and we did not have any players that played Light, Deception, or Magic in the top 20. For the most wins, we can see it was a War deck that went perfect, 25-0. The best Nature and Death deck managed 24 wins. The best Magic deck had 23 wins. The best Deception deck had 22 wins. And the best Light deck had 21 wins. For our deck types, we can see that 12 players in the top 20 played a Control deck. 7 players played aggro. And 1 player played a mid-range deck. Let's look at our top decks in more detail. Our best War deck went 25-0. This one's a Control War deck with the Valka's Presence God Power. We've seen this list the last 2 weeks also going 25-0. Overall, this list is very powerful with strong early game cards like Master Tactician, Tavern Brawler, Blade of Sticks, Pyramid Warden, Audi, Viking Longship. You have some strong removals with Carnage Sweep, Orcish Elite, Ravenous Chimera, Herdicus, Soul Survivor. Strong endgame with Demogorgon, Hector Prince of Troy, and Strengthened Numbers. Our top Death deck managed 24 wins. This one's a Control Death deck with the Blood Ritual God Power. We have the removal and stalling in the early game, Blight Bomb, Siren of the Grave, Sulfuric Rain, Eva Baroness of the Dead. We have strong Void and Afterlife interaction with the Canopic Hoarder, and Half-Life, which allows multiple uses of Eva's Afterlife effect, and the Siren of the Grave. We have our removals with Neferu, Reap, Apocalypse Now, and End Times. And we have the combo and endgame cards like Neferu's Kopesh, Hippocrates Monster, Polyhymnia. Our top Nature deck managed 24 wins. This one's a Control Nature deck with the Animal Bond God Power. We typically see aggro Nature decks, so I wanted to feature a different blend here today. This is a Control deck that tops out on 9 mana with Dionysus the Bountiful. You have some other late game cards like Demogorgon and Gorilla Gardener. Gorilla Gardener is a Divine Order legendary. It is an 8 mana 8/8 which has backline and blitz with overkill. Whenever it destroys a creature, it summons a 1/1 fruit onto your board. You have your strong early nature cards to maintain control of your opponent's board. Canopy Barrage, Feyfang Blade, Underbrush Boar, Pyramid Warden, Vanguard Axwoman. Interesting card with Grassroots here, which transforms a random enemy creature into a 0/5 Golem with Frontline. You have your removals with Lightning Strike, Frenzied Ritual, Falling Star, Enchanted Vines, and the Giant Pangolin with the Blitz. You have some stalling with Pyramid Warden, Guild Enforcer, and Demogorgon. Our best Magic deck managed 23 wins. This one's an aggro Magic deck with the Mage Bolt God Power. This deck focuses on cheap creatures and spells and burn to defeat your opponent. You have plenty of draw with this deck. You have Palace's Wand, Vortimer the Volatile, All-Seeing Spire. You have strong Magic cards like Demetrius the Playwright, Miraculous Familiar, Oni Spellsword, and Palace Champion of Magic. And you have your direct burn spells like Worm Breath. Our best Deception deck managed 22 wins. This one's an aggro Deception deck with Orpheus Distraction for the God Power. You're looking for a strong opening with Patient Pickpocket, Switch Duelist, Stoneskin Poison, and Orfeo Champion of Deception. Other strong early game cards include Armor Lurker, Shackled Acolyte, and the Hollow. You follow it up with strong cards like Ludius Dedicant and Shadewalker. You have a couple of legendaries here with Hierophant Salinas, which gives your creatures on the board value from your opponent's deck. And then you have the Lantern-bound Fae, which has the potential to trigger its roar effect multiple times, dealing 3 damage to your enemy's creatures or to the god directly. Our best light deck finished with 21 wins. This one's an aggro light deck with the Summon Acolyte God Power. We see the typical low curve here with 2 relics in the early game, Cudgel of Atonement and Ritual Rod. You're looking for a strong start with Netherborn Binder, Olympian Guard, Pyramid Warden, and Skeleton Heavy. You have strong light cards with Light's Levy, Radiant Dawn, Highborn Knight, Master of Indulgences, Cern, and Canonize. As usual, you top out a 6 mana with Asterius. Taking a look at our Mythic snapshot for the ranked weekend event, War remains the best god at a 52% win rate and a high popularity of 28%. That's followed by Nature with a 50% win rate and 32% popularity. War is showing positive matchups across the board, while Nature has positive matchups over Light, Magic, and Deception. Death is also competitive with a 49% win rate and 10% popularity. Death is favorable versus Nature, Magic, and Deception. At the lower end, we have Light at a 47% win rate, Magic also at 47% win rate, and Deception at 46%. Lowest representation goes to Light and Deception, although they do have positive matchups depending on the god that they face. Taking a look at our top 10 scoreboard, which is updated with last week's ranked weekend results. Biggest change here, we can see Caution Fund jumping up 20 spaces to take first place, with the tie being broken by the money earned. Caution went perfect last week with a 25 out of 25, moving up to first place. We have the rest of the top 10 from last week filling in here with new spots. And we have the rest of the players moving down to accommodate all the new players that joined the ranking. All right, here's a list of our top players again. Congratulations on a great weekend. Good luck on your prizes when you receive them later this week.